In education matters, an advice was being prepared based on recommendation of the CARE members who have been key players in getting our school started, that teachers were experiencing some adjustment problems and were rapidly burning out and or suffering from exhaustions. Some were also having severe reactions to stress due to not being able to handle some of their personal business, as most of these institutions that they would need to go to are open during school hours. As such, the advice was being prepared by the Department of Education to grant the week that had been revoked in the midterm break when we started the soft opening of school in October 2nd to 5th, to revoke or not to revoke, to give back those 5 days and as soon as possible to the teachers, management, and staff of our various schools. As we all know, they reported during their initial vacation week, and after assessing and looking at these reports, as well as hearing the reports from the weekly school board meetings, I have agreed that this was indeed something we needed to allow them to be able to catch themselves as well. As such, the proposal had initially asked for Monday and Tuesday past to be granted, and this was being done last week. And seeing that the time it would take to finalize that advice and communication, I did not think that that short notice would have been enough to prepare parents and the like for the intended extra 2 days not expected on the 13th and 14th of November. However, taking into consideration that it was still an urgent matter, and despite my initial plan to attach those 5 days towards the end of the school year and therefore lengthen the summer vacation, I took the decision to grant instead 2 days, still in the month of rolling over November to December, Thursday and Friday, November 30th and December 1st of 2017, to be able to grant them that much needed reprieve as soon as possible, especially to be able to take care of personal business and or rest, recover, and recharge. In signing off that decree, it was quickly brought to my attention that at least one school had a planned test week during that time, the SVOBA under the Milton Peters College. It will not be a problem as such. I have asked the schools to provide a proposal as to which preferred dates they would like to utilize, or they can opt, of course, to move the last 2 days of the test week to the Monday and Tuesday thereafter, which would, of course, grant the students an extra opportunity to be able to prepare for that test. However, whichever proposal the school and teachers agree upon, I will be willing to entertain that. However, for the other school boards, the proposed dates as per the ministerial decree will remain. So we are in discussion currently with SVOBA to be able to come to a decision that is in the best interest of all concerned. So that's the 2 days I mentioned before. As I stated, it was 5 in total. So the other 3 days I have then decided to attach to the Christmas break, where we had 3 days that students would go back to school on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th of January. Those have now been added to the Christmas vacation, and students will now be expected back at school on January 8th. Hoping that this information is clear to all and gives parents, guardians, and others opportunities to make the necessary arrangements. Remembering that we gave a call to our teachers, management, and staff to come out to execute a soft opening on October 2nd to 5th, even though school had been closed for 3.5 weeks already, and some might say they had a vacation. Many know that those days prior to the opening of school cannot be considered a vacation by any means. And we, as Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth and Sports, and myself, having sat in the benches or stood in front of the benches for 16 years and assisted as a care coordinator for 3, managed a school, I understand the feelings, the sentiments of all concerned, and I am totally in agreement that the time is needed, and especially to commend them for sticking their necks out and getting school started when they did, despite their own personal issues. Also, I'd mentioned before in October that due to the Hurricane Irma, some of the plans we had for teacher appreciation had been sort of put on a back burner to be able to start school and deal with the emergencies. However, in the meantime, the advice to show appreciation for our teachers has also been completed in the meantime. And so all teachers, management, and staff of schools will receive a gift voucher of 200 guilders to be able to do a shopping as a gift. And later in this month, they will also be receiving the gift of the Education on the Move T-shirt, which they have been clamoring for. We had only gifted the public schools with that. And so that, as ministry, we haven't been able to have a ceremony as such, but we would like to extend this gift of appreciation to our teachers. And I really must state here that seeing the current circumstances, that people would find it fitting to use any and every action as a stunt or a political move. That is low. Anybody who knows me know that every year while I have stood here, I have done my best to appreciate teachers, and we had promised this way before there was any talk of government falling or any of the such. And procedures and actions continue, and hopefully when I am gone, many of the initiatives that have started will also continue. From the Student Support Services Division, within the ministry is holding a workshop entitled Crafting a College Entrance Essay and Motivational Letter. This will be held on Thursday, November 23rd, 2017 from 4 to 5 p.m. This event will be held at the office of the Student Support Services Division, which is located in the Amigo building across from the police station and next to the Windward Islands Bank upstairs. This workshop aimed to meet the needs of students in the last 2 years of secondary school, as well as recent graduates who may see the need to further prepare themselves to apply to colleges. During this workshop, students will be able to critically analyze excerpts of essays so they can apply the lessons to their own writings. Emphasis will be placed on the IBC method for essays and having a proper thesis. The other aspects of essay writing and motivational letter writing will also be explained. Students will get the opportunity to practice as well.
Hey guys, did you know that now with Telcel, if you accumulate $25 or more within 1 calendar month, you get 15 more?
15 more?
Yes, 15 more. However you want.
So I can top up $3 now, $10 next week, and so on until I reach or pass $25?
That's right. Get 15 more.
Wow! I feel like a 15 again.
Yeah. Right. Accumulate $25 or more within 1 calendar month and get 15 more. Telcel, when you want more.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NV.
Situation that was in the media yesterday about a minor that was arrested and supposedly held in a cell along with adults or in an adult institution. And that situation is not factual as it was released. Indeed, there was a minor that was detained for for investigation of an alleged crime committed. And that minor was held in a cell alone. It should be noted that in order for someone to be arrested and held for a period of time and where they would be held, that it is not the prosecutor who decides that. It is the judge of instruction who would decide if that situation should be done and how long the person can be held. In this case, the minor was held alone, not along with any adults. And the same day that the report appeared, there was the minor had to once again appeared before the judge of instruction. The judge of instruction released or suspended the detention of the minor under certain conditions. And for instance, one of those conditions was that the minor would have to attend school while they're out. The detention was not considered or declared unlawful by the judge of instruction. I would also further like to clarify, we have a detention center, the Miss Lally Center, which is specifically for minors. The center has been severely damaged by the hurricane, and we are in the process of fixing up the center so that it can once more be used for that purpose. We cannot have folks detained in a place that is not suitable to do so. So that situation is being worked on and would be resolved. So the release or the suspension of the detention of the minor had nothing to do with the fact that the minor was held with adults or that the detention was unlawful. I do not know if the Miss Lally Center was available, if the judge would have suspended, or the judge of instruction would have suspended the detention. That is not clear. In the past, since after the hurricane, there were a number of minors that were detained and their detention were suspended, and that was because no facility was available to hold them in properly for the period of time. If you have a couple of days that you're going to be in a cell and in a cell alone and deemed okay by the judge of instruction, and that is no problem. If you have to be there for a longer period, then you should be in a center that is according to law. So I think that it was necessary to clarify that situation. Also, in the last press briefing, I mentioned that the situation at the Point Blanche prison, the post-hurricane actions that have been taking place over there, after having moved out a number of the inmates, all assessments and planning and necessary inspections took place. We have, as I mentioned before, we have the assistance from experts from the Netherlands, from the Service of Judicial Institutions from the Netherlands. We were then faced with basically three conditions. There were three possibilities that we had to look at the Point Blanche facility. One, should we repair the facility to the pre-Irma conditions? And we all know that pre-Irma, the conditions were not that cozy up there anyway. So that was one of the options. We also could have repaired that we could meet some future, that for a number of years it will be feasible to use, or the other condition was a new construction. And from when taking office, one of the first things that I said I would try to achieve is to get a new facility, because it's not just the condition of the building, but we have had different reports, different international reports that said that the conditions are not proper to house inmates in. And we can keep patching, and it would cost us a lot of money, all of the patching, but we will still not be able to meet those standards if we continue that way. The experts on the ground, and this is not official yet, but we seem to be on the same line as far as that is concerned, that the option that we should go with would be that of a new construction. So once we have formalized that this is the direction that we would go, I hope by next week we should have that formalized, then we would see how we would proceed from there. And any plans for new construction could take at least 2 years to do. So in the meantime, we would also have to look at alternative facilities, etc. There's a lot of planning that would go into it. But as it stands now, it looked like we are all on the same track, that we should move ahead with looking at new construction for the Point Blanche facility. And I'm very, very happy with that.
People all across St. Martin are switching to a more rewarding experience. The WIB MasterCard Fun Miles credit card, better known as My Card. Earn 1 Fun Mile for every $2 spent, even abroad and online. This will quickly get you a ton of Fun Miles to redeem for travel, shopping, food, fuel, and much more. But there's more to My Card. Worldwide acceptance, an EMV chip for extra security, and 250 free Fun Miles with first use. Switch to My Card today at WIB.
Fun miles, from within your reach.
Hey guys, did you know that now with Telcel, if you accumulate $25 or more within 1 calendar month, you get 15 more?
15 more?
Yes, 15 more. However you want.
So I can top up $3 now, $10 next week, and so on until I reach or pass $25?
That's right. Get 15 more.
Wow! I feel like a 15 again.
Yeah. Right. Accumulate $25 or more within 1 calendar month and get 15 more. Telcel, when you want more.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
Luis was a Cat 4 hurricane, which sat here on us for about, 12 to 14 hours, more than that, because I remember I left my home on the Tuesday, and I got back home on Thursday. So I know, right? It was longer. But Irma, on the other hand, she was powerful, very powerful hurricane, destructive hurricane. And thank God she came for just a few hours and she left. If she sat here a little longer, she would have flattened the island. Probably yes and probably no. Why? Like I said, there are some structures on the island that, that suffered major damage. And then there were people who actually, after Hurricane Luis, like myself, we learned our lesson. And you build better and stronger, Could we have withstood a Category 5 plus hurricane. Had she stayed here a little longer, I don't know. I leave that up to the Almighty. Everybody has a story, and they're still telling their story. I haven't met everybody, but you go to the grocery store, you go to the gas station, anywhere. You walk on the streets, people who know you're going to stop you, and everybody has a story. And some people are like, yeah, I did good. I didn't lose my roof, but I lost my job. Some people are like, yeah, you know, just like everybody, I lost my roof, but I got a job. So, you know, everybody has a story. And some good and some not so very good at all. You know, we've lost lives in this hurricane too, which I think is sad because it's not really, a lot of people isn't really talking about it because nobody likes to talk about death. But when you have hurricanes of this magnitude, yes, people are going to lose their lives. I understand that there were lives lost in the lagoon again, like Luis, you know, but again, like I said, stories, there are many. And have we heard them all? Not yet. People are going to continue talking about this hurricane for a very, very long time. Who knows, probably next year when the hurricane season starts again, you know, you're going to hear people still talking about it. When the carnival season begins and, you know, and everybody meet up and everybody sit down having a drink, we still will be talking about Hurricane Irma. This isn't something that you're going to forget overnight. You're not just going to get up and forget about it. I remember after this hurricane passed, I, like I said, didn't have, and I say this, and I said this to people also, that you might not have lost a family member, you might not have lost your roof. You were okay. You done well. You know, you had power in your house. You know, after maybe a week or two, the power was back on thanks to GB, of course. You had water and what have you, but there was still a psychological twist to it because you somewhere, somehow, it wasn't physically, structurally, it could have been mentally. Because I've had nightmares after the hurricane at night sometime while I'm sleeping, that I would hear noises, like still hear like the wind in my sleep, and I would like jump and wake up, you know? And yes, there are people who would tell you, yeah, they still get nightmares about this hurricane. So we all have a story. We all have a story to tell. Did I cry? Yes, I've cried. I've heard men talk to me and tell me they've cried, you know, because it's psychologically, it has affected a lot of us in so many ways. Have you spoken to your children about it? This isn't something that you just get up and just walk away and say like, oh yeah, we're fine and let's just move on from here. You need to talk about it, get it off your chest, because I mean, it affected everybody in a certain way and everyone in a different way. And the best way is to talk about it. Get it off your chest, like we say. But again, this is going to take a while for all of us to actually grasp what happened to St. Martin and what is yet to happen to St. Martin. Because as a result of this hurricane, it doesn't only cause structural damage to the island, but also when you look around today, we have so many people who are jobless. People who have lost their jobs as a consequence of this hurricane. And people can't feed their families. So that's what I'm saying, is that there's a lot, like after this hurricane and the cleanup, and we have cleaned up, and the dust settles, reality is going to settle in. And it's not going to be a pretty picture. We have to face that reality that is yet to come. Is it going to be, you know, how long is it going to take actually for St. Martin to get back on her feet? This one, going to take a while. This one is going to take a while, believe it or not. You know, some people might not like hearing it. I feel sorry for all the people who have lost their jobs and what have you. Thank God I still have one to hold on to, you know, but fact of the matter is, when you have a family and you can't feed your family, that's a crisis right there by itself.